Like to call the meeting of Orange Township Board of Zoning Appeals to order.
Mr. Krebs, Mrs. Ross,
Here.
Mrs. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Pax,
Here.
Mr. Thompson.
Here.
We have 4 board members. Our vice chair will be leading us. We are expecting our chair to be here eventually, but in the meantime, I'll let Mrs. Ross take it away.
Okay, thank you. In the audience, anyone who intends to testify, please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony that you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? State, I do. And when you come forward to speak at the microphone, please state your full name, your address, and affirm that you've been sworn. Okay? Eric?
All right. So, good evening, Board of Appeals members. We have 3 cases, 3 items of new business on the agenda tonight. A little bit of housekeeping looking ahead to the 2025 meeting schedule after that. We will forego doing minutes tonight. We got some minutes a little bit late, and so we'll just bundle the next month together for your general awareness. So the first case of new business on the agenda tonight is the case number BA 24-33. I will actually step up here because we are limited with our microphones, so sorry for the change of my position. All right, so as I was saying, the first case for tonight is VA 24-33. The case is for 459 Orange Point Drive. Owner applicant Plymouth Orange Point LLC, and the applicant being Day-Night Sign Company, Colin Brinkman as the representative. The zoning for this parcel is Planned Industrial District. It is a 9.76 acre parcel, and I will go through the request next. So the applicant is requesting an area variance from the Orange Township Zoning Resolution, Section 22, for a proposed wall sign to be located higher than the permitted 15 feet in height above finished grade. The proposed wall sign is located on the south side building face above the primary entrance for Suite A, which will be 22 feet 0 inches above finished grade to the top of the sign, exceeding the requirement by 7 feet and 0 inches. The subject property is located north and east of the corner of Graphics Way and Orange Point Drive. An existing industrial building with surrounding parking is located on the parcel with various commercial and light industrial related uses within multiple suites, each with individual exterior access. The site is currently zoned Planned Industrial District under rezoning case 2643. So for the surrounding area, to the north, the zoning district is farm residential FR1. That land use is a vacant parcel. To the south, zoning is Planned Industrial District. Land uses are Orange Point Drive, North Point, Dance Academy, and other commercial type uses. To the east, the zoning is also Planned Industrial District. The land use there is the AEP Malazewski substation. And then to the west is zoning Planned Industrial District with land uses, various commercial uses. Move along to the next page, the zoomed out view. You can see the site location off of Orange Point Drive, just a little bit east of US 23 and Graphics Way, parallel to that. We'll go to the zoomed in view. So as described, this is a fairly large parcel, 9.76 acre, with multiple users and individual tenant suites. This one has the exterior access as noted. It's Suite A for the building. All right, so the staff review, specifically this is an area variance from Orange Township Zoning Resolution, Section 22.03 C1 for the max sign height requirement of 15 feet. All display signs shall be mounted on the building which houses the business establishment advertised by such signs, except as otherwise specifically authorized by this resolution. Such signs shall be located on or along the wall of such building which faces a street, parking lot, or service drive, and shall be located no more than 15 feet above finished grade or the height of the ceiling of the first floor of the building, whichever is less. So for Exhibit 1, proposed wall sign, you can see fairly clearly, I think the 22 feet is legible there. That's the measurement provided by the applicant from the finished grade to the top of this new wall sign. The proposed wall sign would encroach 7 feet into the 15-foot height requirement. This is a roughly 47% variance request. And that is all I had as far as exhibits. The final section is the board analysis.
Is the applicant here this evening? Would you like to step to the podium?
Colin Brinkman, day-night sign, 1640 Harmon Avenue, Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, so I'm working with America's Floor Source here. We've done a couple signs for them at their east location. We're working on their west location as well. So they just got rebranding about a year ago, so they're trying to update all their signage. They have an existing wall sign there, keeping it same location as the existing, illuminated sign, flush mounted to the wall. And yeah, I mean, that's the main reason for the new sign is just the new branding that they have. And then also just that facade there, there's not much of an area to put a wall sign unless it is above that canopy there. And again, the sign we haven't surveyed yet, so we don't know for sure, but it is roughly the same size of the existing sign that they currently have, which is also illuminated. So I'm happy to take any questions if you guys have any.
Does the board have any questions for the applicant?
Just quickly on the signage itself, I'm looking at the channel letter. Is it fully illuminated or backlit illuminated? Or is that a fully illuminated letter? Is that what what's
Yeah, so there, as you can see, the A, the F, and the S are kind of broken up, but yeah, those are each individual facelit channel letters.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything there is individually lit with
And then-
LEDs inside.
And then the text, I'm sorry. And then the text, America's Floor Source, that will also be illuminated
Correct.
as well as the logo AES. Okay, thank
Yep.
you. AFS, excuse me. Thank you.
Are you saying it's in the same spot as it was before?
Yeah, you can see it's kind of small there, that small little square on the right
Oh,
side.
okay.
You can kind of see that's what the sign is today.
Okay.
Yeah. And I believe all like the neighboring tenants in there, they have signs in that same area of their suite. So I think they all have canopies and they're all kind of above that, so.
Are you doing the patchwork?
So we will patch the holes with caulk or silicone. As far as the ghosting is concerned, I've notified the client. I don't know how long that sign's been up there. They don't really know because it's a pretty big company, and they weren't there when this sign was installed. But what we will do is remove the sign, we will patch the holes. As far as the facade restoration, that's kind of on them. Depending on the amount of ghosting. Now, we can paint it, but if it comes in to, having to do some work to the wall, that's kind of out of our hands. And we won't really know what it is until we remove the sign, which they won't want down until we install. With that said, the positive is those letters are on raceways and it's a big logo. So the ghosting would be from the raceway, which is just a rectangular box. So we'll see how that goes. But that's kind of out of our hands as far as that's concerned. But yes, we do patch with silicone and caulk, so there won't be any exposed holes.
Are there any other questions? Is there anyone from the public like to speak or has a question? Okay, hearing none, I'll close that portion. Does anyone have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll make a motion. I move to approve, based on the factors presented tonight, that I move to approve case number VA-24-33 for property located at 459 Orange Point Drive, Lewis Center, Ohio, 43035, seeking an area variance from the Orange Township zoning resolution section 22.03, subparagraph C1, for proposed wall sign above Suite A to be installed at a height of 22 feet 0 inches.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the motion?
All right. Motion made to approve by Mr. Pack, seconded by Mrs. Neff. Those voting, Mrs. Ross,
Yes.
Mrs. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Pax.
Yes.
And Mr. Totsky.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
All right. Moving right into our second case for tonight. That is case number CU-24-34. That's for the site at 3773 East Powell Road. The applicant and owner is Dog Distilling Company, represented by Lori Webb. This parcel is a 3.28 acre parcel, and zoning district is Planned Commercial and Office District. So for the description, the applicant is seeking a conditional use from section 22.04A of the Orange Township zoning resolution to allow for the installation of a monument sign on a property zoned Planned Commercial and Office District under rezoning case 16744. Subject parcel, as stated above, is located at 3773 East Powell Road, parcel ID 318-441-02-005-000, and currently owned by Dog Distilling Company. For the surrounding area, looking towards the north, the zoning district is Farm Residential District. The land uses there are single-family residences as well as a vacant parcel. Looking towards the south, the zoning is also farm residential. Land use there is various vacant parcels. Towards the east is, again, farm residential district. The land use is Oakland Nursery. And to the west, the zoning district is both farm residential district as well as City of Columbus incorporated parcels. Land uses include both the East Powell Road right-of-way and single-family residences. So there you are for the context view from the auditor's website. And we will go to the next page, the more zoomed-in version here. You can see the intersection. There's East Powell Road and let's see. What spacing is that? Worthington Road?
That's Worthington.
Thank you. Worthington Road and East Powell intersection is fairly proximate to this. With the, you can see the frontage on East Powell Road just to the west. So this is a conditional use from section 22.04 of the Orange Township zoning resolution. I will kind of streamline it. You can read the majority of the text that we did not provide responses to, but I'm just going to jump down to the criteria that we do have responses to, starting with criteria number 3. So a determination that the proposed sign meets all of the following requirements. The sign is a monument-style freestanding sign. The applicant is proposing a monument-style freestanding sign as shown in Exhibit 1 below. For B, the maximum height of such sign does not exceed 8 feet above the average grade of the site, and the sign is located at the distance from any street right-of-way line as required. According to Exhibit 1, the proposed sign will be 6 feet 0 inches from grade to the top of the sign. The sign is proposed to be approximately 17 feet 0 inches from the property line adjoining the right-of-way off of East Powell Road. According to Section 22.04A3E, the minimum setback permitted is 17 feet 0 inches from the right-of-way, so the sign meets this standard. For C, the sign does not have more than 2 sides or surfaces. The sign as proposed will have 2 sides, so that meets that standard. For D, the display area of any one side or surface does not exceed 1/2 of the total display area permitted. The permitted area for the sign, its location is 48 square feet. Total sign area of each side is totals 24 square feet, so the sign meets this standard. The total display area of all surfaces does not exceed 32 square feet or a maximum of 16 square feet per side or surface when the sign is located 15 feet from the primary frontage street right-of-way line. For each additional 1 foot setback from the street right-of-way line, an additional 8 square feet of total display area or a maximum of 4 square feet per side or surface will be permitted up to a maximum of 128 square feet of total display area. or the maximum of 64 square feet per side or surface as permitted. The proposed two-sided sign will be a 24 square foot per side sign. The sign will be set back 17 feet 0 inches from the right-of-way along East Powell Road, so 24 square feet per side total is permitted. The sign meets this standard. Not more than 5 colors are used. For the purposes of this section, black and white shall not be considered colors. The proposed sign meets this standard. For G, no part of such sign will be closer to any street right-of-way line than 15 feet, nor closer to any property line than the applicable building setback line if the adjoining property is in a residential district. The proposed sign will be set back 17 feet and 0 inches from the right-of-way line, which meets the standard. I believe that's what we concentrated our responses on. We did refer to Exhibit 1 a couple times, and you can note the dimensions from the applicant as 6 feet from finished grade to the top of the sign. The display area as well is labeled within Exhibit 1. And kind of a similar but more schematic or three-dimensional, if you will, exhibit is the next one. You have even a below grade, but you can note the line is 6 feet. I think we might have, maybe the door got locked. Would you mind checking on?
That may be our chair.
It could be. Or Saint.
There he is.
All right, so I think I was on Exhibit 2 as we have our chairman come join us.
Sorry.
Not a problem, Kelvin. So just mentioning that the grade line is that boulder line, and then 6 feet from grade to the top of the sign as shown in the previous exhibit. And then for the final exhibit, exhibit number 3 is the site plan. You can see the 17 feet from the edge of the right-of-way measured to the very front edge of the proposed monument sign on that site plan. And that is what I have. The board analysis for conditional use criteria is following. You can definitely take a moment if our chairman wanted to switch. If you, we're on case number 2.
We can switch over to you now.
It's up to you.
Makes no difference.
We'll have the applicant come up.
Is the applicant here this evening? Would you like to step up to the microphone?
Good evening. I am Lori Webb. I reside at 14520 Center Village Road, Galena, Ohio, and I have been sworn in. I think you did all the hard lifting here on the explanation, although we did, my partners are behind me, 4 owners. We did notice, if you could go to the 3D exhibit, it actually, the 62 should be added to the 24 there above grade, so it actually ends up being 86. We just noticed that while you were reviewing it. So the sign itself above the base is 62 height, and then the top of the base to grade is 24. So if that's an issue, we can obviously alter that, but I did want to point that out, because that is the plan as of now, unless we cannot do that. So apologies for that error.
Eric, does that change any of the criteria within your staff report?
I do want to double check for my own understanding. So 48 seems to be consistent with the previous exhibit, 48. And then you mentioned the 62.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'm going to take back everything I just said. So it is correct. The 62 is to grade. The 48.
Is the sign itself.
Apologies, thank you, again. Disregard everything I just said. As you see it is exactly right.
Are there any questions from the board?
My only question was on the lighting itself. How is that directed?
So we're just looking at landscape lighting, one on each side, just to lighten up the sign itself. No extraneous light at all.
Okay.
So the sign is not lit?
Correct.
You're saying. Good.
Do you have evening, what are your hours of operation? Do you have
We
evening
will.
hours?
Yes, we are under construction right now, so we're not open yet,
Right.
but we absolutely will.
Can you tell me what you're
Yes, so initially
anticipating?
it'll be Thursday through Sunday, and we're looking at 5 o'clock on Thursday to 10, Friday night, 5 o'clock to midnight, Saturday, noon to midnight, Sunday, noon to 6.
We have a timer on the lights, so they'll be extinguished when your hours of operation are over?
We can absolutely do that.
If there are no other questions from the board,
Is there any other?
yeah, you may be seated,
Thank
and
you.
we'll open it to public comment. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak, please come to the microphone. Okay, ma'am,
I'm Heidi Halp. I live right across the street at 3750 East Powell Road.
okay,
I
ma'am,
just
may I,
want-
may I stop you for 1 second? Apparently you were not sworn in when you came in, and we require that as part of the hearing. It's just because this is an official hearing that has a transcript. Okay? So, would you like to do that, Kelvin?
Sure. I got it. Anyone who intends to testify, please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? State "I do," and when it's your turn to offer testimony, state your full name and address and affirm that you've been sworn in.
I do.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Heidi Halp, 3750 East Powell Road. And I just wanted to make sure that the lighting question you asked would be affirmed somehow, because we do live right across the street. That's all.
I believe that if the board decides, that could be part of our motion as a condition. Is that correct?
Yep. Now, I do want to clarify, for the lighting types that are what we consider low voltage, those are not regulated by zoning. If it's something that is a little more powerful, that is beyond just low voltage landscaping lighting, that would be something that you could put a condition on. But like I said, if it's low voltage or landscape, solar powered lighting, those, generally speaking, those cannot be enforced by zoning based on how our zoning text is written.
Okay.
But we could still put it in as a condition just because that's what we want.
If you really felt
Not
strongly
being
enough.
forced by zoning, but it would be a goodwill.
I guess, to that degree, yeah, and we would also need to double check if there were questions about the intensity of the lighting. We would need to double check and see how that can be categorized too. So if that does come up in the future, certainly that's something that the zoning department can look into and verify how to categorize, sorry.
Okay.
The one thing I did want to mention, however, when I look at their plan, they do have landscaping, plants basically noted there that are flanking the lighting. That, if indeed is installed the way they're showing it, you're going to get shielding for light bleed, basically, from those uplights with that landscaping. So that's a very important part of the plan in consideration of the neighbors across the street. So that diffuses the light distortion and bleed, basically. And the fact that the sign is the way it's oriented, in my mind, also is going to mitigate some of the light bleed that you may encounter as across the street in the neighborhood. We're sensitive to that, but that is one of the factors versus it being perpendicular or parallel to your property that you might be seeing those lights more so. So those are all very important parts, I guess, of being a good neighbor, but also just what we're looking at with the lighting. The landscaping will help.
And that's exactly why we did the bushes to do that, but we have no problem having it included. We want to be good neighbors, so we have no problem having that as part of this, having low voltage lights that No problem.
That's a great condition of it, I think, frankly, especially considering that your sign is up off the ground about at least 24 inches or so. That low planting will shield those lights, work very well for you. I also just want to commend you on the limestone base. Will be very
We wanted to be
attractive.
true to Ohio. We're going to source anything possible local, so that was part of it.
But it's very nice. It'll look very nice, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to come up and speak from the public? Okay. Does anyone have a motion?
I can make a motion. Based on these factors, I move to approve case number CU-24-34 for the property located at 3773 East Powell Road, Lewis Center, Ohio, seeking a conditional use from Orange Township Zoning Resolution Article 22.04A to allow for the construction of a monument sign in an area zoned planned commercial and office district.
I'll second.
Motion to approve made by Mrs. Neff, seconded by Mr. Totsky. Those voting, we'll start with Mr. Trevs,
Yes?
Mrs. Ross,
Yes.
Mrs. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Pax,
Yes.
and Mr. Totsky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, well, we'll move forth into our third of the three new business cases. The third one being another variance case, that is case number VA-24, I should say 24-35. So this is for the property at 2216 Coaster Trace in Lewis Center. The applicant and owner is Sai Pokala. The zoning district for this property is single-family plan residential district. This is a lot size of almost 1/4 acres, .248. The request is, I'll give you the summary. The applicant is requesting an area variance from rezoning case 19680 Meadows at Lewis Center to allow for a deck to encroach 6 feet 10 inches into the 35-foot rear yard setback in an area zoned single-family planned residential district. It was also noticed during site photos that an existing concrete patio is located immediately east of the proposed deck, which also extends 6 feet 10 inches into the rear yard setback. That was incorporated into the motion upon the discovery of that existing patio that we have given you the example motions, rather. So the subject property is located at 2216 Coaster Trace, Lewis Center, and having parcel number 318-210-13014000, and presently owned by Sai Pokala. For the surrounding area, to the north, the zoning district, in actually all four directions, is single-family planned residential district. The land use over to the north is single-family residences as well as Coaster Trace. Looking to the south, the land uses include Meadows at Lewis Center HOA open space, specifically Reserve B, and just beyond that is Lewis Center Road right-of-way. To the east, the land uses are single-family residences, and then to the west, land uses are McCumber Loop and single-family residences as well. So as I mentioned, Lewis Center Road is just to the south, and between that is the Reserve B open space, and a little further to the east is South Old State Road right-of-way. Zoomed in, you can see some of the details there, neighbors on both sides, and the Reserve B just to the south. All right, so for staff's review, this is a variance request from the rear yard setback. The area variance is from rezoning case 19680 Meadows at Lewis Center. The rear yard setback requirement here is 35 feet. The deck that is proposed will encroach 6 feet and 10 inches into the 35-foot rear yard setback. This is roughly a 20% variance request from rezoning case 19680 Meadows at Lewis Center. And we do have that notated on the site plan. That's in the red text. We also put on there 32 feet, the dimensions, which are 32 feet wide by 17 feet deep. And just to the east of that, not represented on the site plan, is the existing patio, which you will see in the site photos. This is a little bit closer in view for your reference. And the next exhibit would be the deck construction drawing showing the 32 feet by 17 feet. And finally, to the site photos. You can see the site for the future deck is the grass area where there's also some brick, small landscaping style bricks, pavers, and then that will adjoin that existing patio on the right-hand side of the photo. Just to clarify, the larger cone that is pictured, a little hard to see, but it is in the foreground there, represents the rear property line. The smaller cone represents the 35-foot rear yard setback line, and then that blue ball, which you can see a little more clearly, represents the edge of the proposed deck. You will see the ball and the cone arrangement facing west in the next photo, and then facing east in the third photo. And last photo is just a more zoomed in version of that third photo, facing east as well. You can see how the extent of that existing concrete patio is very comparable to our measurement of where the proposed deck will be. I don't really have anything further. You can refer to the board analysis on the next page.
Is the applicant here?
Good evening. This is Sai Charan Pokala, 2216 Coaster Trace, Lewis Center, Ohio.
Thanks.
So, yeah, I have a 4 years and a 1.5-year-old kid, and we just wanted to build a deck. And with respect to the patio, I didn't knew about it like it was at the time of construction. And even I just realized that when I submitted the deck permissions, I just realized that even the patio was like 6 feet encroached into that thing, which I wasn't sure because that was constructed at the time of the house construction. So yeah, we just wanted to have a deck for this summer. And yeah.
Sir, were you sworn in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh no, I didn't understand. Sorry, sorry, I didn't sworn it. I can do it now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All I gotta do is find the paper again.
Oh, got it. Thank you. Anyone who intends to testify, please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, state "I do" when you come up and offer testimony. Please state your full name, address, and affirm that you've been sworn in.
I do.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah. So
You've
that's
got the
plan.
rest of the information? Okay. Continue, please.
So yeah, that's the plan for the deck. So it's like we just have 10 feet. As of now, it's only 10 feet. 10 foot it would be like too small for us. So we just wanted to get it extended and get some variance for it. Yeah.
Questions, anyone? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I guess the audience is kind of thin.
All right.
Ready for a motion?
Yeah.
Based on the factors presented this evening, I move to approve case number VA-24-35 for the property located at 2216 Kester Trace, Lewis Center, Ohio, seeking an area variance from rezoning case number 19680, Meadows at Lewis Center, to allow for a proposed deck and an existing concrete patio to encroach 6 feet 10 inches into the 35-foot rear yard setback in an area zoned single-family planned residential district.
I'll second.
Motion to approve made by Mrs. Ross, seconded by Mr. Trevs. Those voting, Mr. Trevs,
Yes.
Mrs. Neff,
Yes.
Mrs. Ross,
Yes.
Mr. Totsky,
Yes.
and Mr. Pax.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
Good
you.
luck with your project.
Kelvin may not have been here, but just to be sure, we are not going to do any of the minutes tonight. But we'll wait until next month based on staffing as well as receiving some minutes a little late. What we are going to try and do is make sure we have 2025 schedule decided upon, and we have prospective dates in front of you. If you haven't flipped to the page, they should be in your packet. So 2025, these overall are going to be the third Thursday of the month with a couple of exceptions. I think there was a holiday involved, so if you pay attention to June 12th, that should be the second Thursday of that month. And if you all had a chance to look at these dates, or you want to look at them, just feel free to hit the pause button, and I can look at that a little more closely. But ideally, we need to have the 2025 schedule approved tonight.
I move to approve the 2025 Orange Township Board of Zoning Appeals schedule as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve by Mrs. Ross, second by Mr. Pax. Those voting, Mr. Trevs,
Yes.
Mrs. Ross,
Yes.
Mrs. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Pax,
Yes.
and Mr. Totsky.
Yes.
You made this very easy. So this, in front of you will be the 2025 calendar going forward. That would mean our next hearing date is on, and I think we had already decided on that, January 16th for the next meeting, and then the subsequent meeting will be February 20th. So I look forward to another full year and many more cases ahead with you all.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks, Eric.
In the meantime, wishing you all happy holidays, and please be safe, but enjoy the season. So,
You too.
Thanks, Eric. You too.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you for taking over.